I got this titled as Odyssey Jones gets the win versus the Final Testament. So
Yeah.
this match was great. I mean, obviously the New Day, awesome. Uh, but yeah, they end up going on. The hot tag moment arrives, and I believe I always get Akam and Razor confused. But
I get the Tamatongas confused just from a
yeah,
distance, I guess.
yeah.
Especially since he
but
lost the patch now. I'm like, God damn.
but yeah, that like basically the ending sequence of the match is like, um, Xavier Woods hitting his the limit break, his diving elbow. Akam takes him outside, and then Razor and I think Kofi or Razor was already on the outside of the ring. Kofi, jumps out, does the whole "I'm taking everybody out" spot, and or it was oh no, carrying crosses outside because it was Razor that took it. But I like the fact that Odyssey Jones has a big boss man slam. I'm like very simple
Yeah.
and imposing for like a 385-pound guy. It's like
Mhm.
so simple. It's kind of like Mark Henry's world's strongest slam. I put those two moves in like the same category. It's like these belong to big dudes and broad shoulders. And it's like as long as they hit it clean, like it's devastating. You know what I mean? So I just thought it was uh, similar, not trying to skip ahead, but similarly to how Naomi got the win later in the week, Odyssey Jones getting it. It's like, okay, yeah, we're pushing this storyline ahead. I have that one in Rising because it is obviously telling that breaking up of the New Day story and
Yeah.
letting it be the new guy prove his worth, like in this setting. And he hasn't done anything wrong. Like, this is like literally like, I just thought of Kofi and like Xavier as a married couple.
Mhm.
Like Kofi done brought some baby home, and he's like, whose baby is this? You know what I'm saying? Like, and now I just got to be okay with you having a baby on me. Like, and I just got to take you back. Like, that's really what I think the relationship is. Like, every time I see him like doing his facial acting, I'm like, mm-hmm. But yeah, I like the win. I like specifically that Odyssey got the win. So that's what's turning the arrow up for me
Yeah.
into mid rising for sure.
Yeah, I didn't have this listed, but I did want to call out, like I said last week, um, there needs to be a conversation that was to be had between Xavier and Kofi, and they kind of had it. Because remember, I talked about last week. I was like, "Is this a storyline based around replacing E?" And they
Hmm.
mentioned it, and Xavier, I mean not Xavier, Kofi said, "Nah, it's not about replacing E. It's about giving the young guys a chance, like we were positioned, what we were asking, and stuff like that." And so kind of what I was talking about last week, but Kofi again is not looking at self because the way that conversation ended was Xavier was like, you know what, I'm tripping. I gotta, look at, and stuff like that. I gotta be better. And so it's like, it's not sure. Xavier has something to get over to, but Kofi, you are also being a complete asshole. So I do think there's like a level of like, I still don't know exactly what Xavier is still kind of tripping about. Outside of, like, Kofi, maybe, exactly. I don't know if it's necessarily Odyssey Jones, if it's just Kofi just, again, not realizing that he's just being a complete asshole
Well, I think,
to his
like
friend.
you said, the conversation needed to happen, and it did. So
But
I
the
don't think you can
conversation was
say that
more about,
he's.
like, about
I don't
Odyssey
think,
Jones, not necessarily about, like, their relationship. They
but
still haven't talked
but
about
the
their relationship.
first, but the number one like itemized list of problems that's wrong with this situation is replacing the E. You know what I'm saying? And that's the number one thing that everybody would be talking
He's
about. It's
not part of
another
New
big
Day.
guy who would be a powerhouse, right?
He's not part of New
So
Day. He's just working with them at this moment.
exactly, which is why you
He's a
said
contract worker.
that's the very
Kevin O
first
they
thing that
had
you got to
Kevin Owens be in
address.
the group.
That's the first thing you got to address. So he's like, no, I'm not replacing him. So he can still be in his feelings, but at this point, you can't say he's being a complete asshole. Partial, I agree with partial, not complete, because Kofi ain't never did nobody wrong. He ain't never betrayed anybody. Like, you got to take him at his word. Like, if you're Xavier, you have to take him at his word.
Again,
And where in your
what he said
history?
about Odyssey, I don't disagree with. It's more so like there's still an aspect of like, man, you've talked over me. You've made decisions without consulting me. Like, what's
Yes.
happening, bro? Like, again, so like, there's an aspect where yes, Xavier, you should be better with Odyssey Jones than you have been because Odyssey hasn't
Kofi
really
shouldn't
deserved
be
Coffee
so
because
arrogant though.
Odyssey hasn't, yeah, Odyssey hasn't done anything to insult Xavier, at least to my knowledge, and I haven't seen it.
No, he
But
hasn't.
Kofi needs to acknowledge that he hasn't been the best of friend recently to Xavier. And that hasn't happened yet. Like right now, Xavier is like, all right, yeah, I should be better. But like, bro, like there's still the problem between me and you that we need to discuss. And so they're not quite there yet. But again, just they picked up a piece that again, somebody's listening onto this. I said
Hmm.
it last night. Somebody's listening. They're not giving us the view.
They're shadow banning themselves as they watch
They're
us.
not giving us the view or the listen, but they're picking up what we're putting down.
Yeah.
So thank y'all, whoever is at WWE writing that is listening to us. We appreciate it, and eventually we'd hope to get compensated if it just becomes super fucking blatant. But for now, we'll give you these little freebies. But yeah, I like where that's headed at. I just like to see again. There's just you gotta do a little bit right now. It just still feels it feels very network TV scripted.
Mm. Yeah.
I'm not getting cable scripted. You know what I'm saying? I'm not getting no FX. Feels like
You
CW.
mean you mean that storyline specifically?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
It feels like a, ABC, you know,
It's definitely,
CW
or what is it?
storyline
No,
rather than like an FX AMC
I was
storyline.
gonna say it's freeform. The former ABC family. Yeah, that's what it is. It's freeform. They just friends having a disagreement that's gonna blow up later.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, like Grownish. Yeah, that's the show. Yeah, it's Grownish.
Hmm. Yeah,
Which
grownish.
it doesn't need to be Grownish. It needs to be like again, it needs to be an FX show. It needs to be like AMC show, like I don't know. It needs to be like Snowfall. That's what
Yeah.
it needs to be.
Okay.
This is Franklin and Leon. What we talking about right here?
Yeah, I can see that. And then yeah, because Kofi's got to be the Franklin. He's the champion between the two. So, and not to mention just like
Ooh, you calling Xavier,
proportionally,
but but but
Franklin is taller
but
than Leon too. So
but but Xavier is the one who started New Day,
yeah,
so he should be Franklin. That's
I
the beef right
mean,
there.
but
Who's the Franklin and who's the Leon?
yeah, if they want to break them up just directly, if they just want to have a fight in front of the crowd,